So I tried to check out everything in here, and yeah, I think I got everything in here. So first off, we have is the stink bomb thrower, which has a story. He once put his stink bomb off, and that was while he was throwing that, but he had instincts to catch it, but his stink mask was off. Now, he did have one before that, so he lost his arms. Luckily, it was at this ratio to hold it, but he lost that arm that he was holding on. So, yeah, there was also a kid who was rolling bouncy balls, and that caught on one of that. So yeah, that bounced, and he tried to catch with his other hand and then throw it out of the universe. But it also caught his legs on that, just a bit lonky. So yeah, he did that. But since he put that stink mask off, that's what the new troop hammer stink bomb is really is. Now he has a tank HP of that, and it has a DPS, which means actual per second, and the effect lasts for more than a second. Now the military builders, so in Clan Castles, if there is any, he'll just fix everything that is destroyed. Kind of like the healer back in the day. Or, like, I don't know. Like, let's say the wood storage in Strategy Maker. Like, someone destroys that, almost fixed it. This guy will fix it back up while it's being destroyed, so that they'll get more loot. And yeah, this might be explaining, but here's the thing. This only happens when it's upgrading. So 100% loot from being 45% loot. Max. The actual max is 75. The actual non-max, like when you get them right away, it'll steal 25% of the loot when it's upgraded. So when you refund it, it'll only get that much. So, yeah. Now, if it's already at 45, it won't do another 45 or another 25 at level 1. So, yeah. He'll just be like the hammer hitter without any special parts. Now, the Destroying Ranger lost a bunch of Call of Duty games. And ever since then, ever since he lost one, he made a deal so that he'll get better. Each game that he lost, he'll have to do 10 push-ups. And, well, ever since those 20 game losses, which means that he has to do, 200 push-ups in total, that'll mean that he has to do 200. Because he saved them. Now after that matches, his friend told him that he has to do those right now because he lost too many games. So then he tried it, but after the 199th push-up, which as you can guess is 200, he broke his ribcage, which is why that. And yeah, he does have stitches there. But ever since that part's broken, he did lost another Call of Duty game, so that leads up to actually 51. Because before then, because 30 Call of Duty games were lost. Then their friend made that deal. So then, after that, the friend told him to do 10 push-ups again. But then he realized that he can't even do one push-up, which means that he has to do another dare. And that dare was way much worse. He told him to go into battle. That's literally what it was. And the throw, he has grippy boxing gloves. He throws anything in its path with the rage multiplier, so the more that you upgrade them, it's not the more rage multiplier, it's the more heavy things that he can lift. when the rage effect is gone. Now he also punches if there's nothing to throw in its path. And what I mean by that is a clan castle throwing rager, or like the opposite, or like a non-defensive throwing rager throws a throwing rager. It means that where he was targeting was a non-targeting air defense. So as soon as the throwing rage effect gets there, doesn't get there, when he starts pushing, the throwing rage of the rage multiplier will soon end after that fight. Yes, the throwing rager has to become raged when the throwing rager throws a throwing rager. So yeah, kind of a tongue twister there. Now after that, there's also, actually, yeah, I think I already mentioned that, the Pup Warner, which has a 5 HP, which is not that long, but also, until you realize what he does. Now, also, he does 10 damage to troops, like, 10 damage per bark. That's literally what this dog does. 10 damage per bark, and that's only ear damage. And the more that you upgrade them, the more that you actually increase that. But it doesn't include it to defenses. It does include to some defenses that has people on top of them, which is the main part, or like people controlling them when it's about to run out of ammo. So yeah, that's only to defenses. And like also the town hall or the headquarters, yeah, those. So basically what the dog does is warns that there's traps ahead of them and tells them what way to actually go. And what upgrading does, you may ask? Well, I already said damage per second. But also, it does more louder. Like, it does more louder, which means farther people can hear it. So, yeah, that's the whole point of the dog warner. And, yeah, after the Pup Warner, we also have the Swimmer. Yeah, I'm sorry for his head tilting. Now, this guy has a gas mask. It isn't a gas mask. It is a mask where you can breathe underwater. So his suit is hydrophobic, and the reason why he needs that is because so that he can swim better. When I mean swim better, I mean so that troops on his body, back of his body, can swim better. That's the whole point. Now next up we have is the Hammer Hitter, which if you're unfamiliar with this guy, like military builder earlier, I said like he doesn't have the Hammer Hitter ability. So the Hammer Hitter is basically just like a normal hammer hitter, like a regular military builder. Except this thing. When he dies, or when it's the end of the match, this thing will activate. So it'll throw up the hammer with his hand included. Not with his hand, but the hand will help it. And basically what happens is it goes into the air and then goes into sideways mode and then blasts out energy from this part. So he does have a lot of health. And that's like the main part of him. Now, the Minesweeper is basically a blind guy who doesn't know where he's going at all. But, like, he once goes straight, and then he, like, goes back. He doesn't know where he's supposed to go at all. But the more you upgrade him, the more that Spidey sense he has. The more he knows where the mines are. And, yeah, the Minesweeper is basically just a troop who has this indestructible part. Actually, it is literally only 5 mines. Level 1 Boom Beach mines. At level 1. The more that there is mines, the more that there will be this. So, yeah. Also, next up we have, after that, is the defense cart. Which, if there's no defenses, then that includes home village and other villages. But the other villages only matter if it's in that village. So, let's take a look at this. Yeah. There's DC, which means defense cart. And those defense cart can be used in the defense cart. Can be shot. So if you don't choose one of those, he'll just stand there forever. That's what the question mark means. So if you put it on there, and yes, it matters, every single troop, every single defense cart has one defense cart. So basically what this means is, before you put out a defense cart, you'll actually have to put one first. And this housing space has to be a lot. I don't know what the housing space will be, but I don't think it'll be a lot. And it also, I don't know what I was going to say. It also takes as close as the fence range is to go there. Like, let's say it's a short range, it'll go to the short range. Yeah, you get the idea. And also, some of these I already made a video idea or are in Boom Beach. So, Viking, I don't know how to draw those. But they're basically like goblins, I should say. Warden already exists. Spear thrower. I don't know how to do that. But the magnetizer is basically a troop. Actually, yeah, the freezer. Next up we have is the freezer. I know, it's taken too literal. And it's probably the higher than the tank. Housing space troop, probably, that I made so far. And, I mean, tank is in Boom Beach. So, yeah, I'm not drawing that. So basically what the freezer does is, well, this dude will push the freezing cart, and no, there will not be anything in here. No, I'm joking. There will be a bunch of ice packs acting as drawers, drawer after drawer, after drawer, after drawer, after drawer, after drawer, so that it can get the coldest one ever. And when I mean like ice packs, I mean ice packs that you get for school at lunch. It has a hole on it. So I'm talking about like these, but also has a hole on it. So like those ice packs are stacked after stacked after stacked in the freezer. And also these can drop out, but it's really just at random times. And also the opening door. Yeah, it's literally just only those that are cooling the freezer. And what I mean also ice packs, there's also an ice pack, ice drawer, and then after that, ice packs will be drawers after that, like a bunch of them. And then the second drawer will just be a bunch more on it. So, the ISIS does like 10 damage per second. And what I mean by that is like 1 damage per 200 milliseconds. So, yeah, that's basically what it is. Per ice. And then it's over. Each ice. Now, the ice pack goes thrice the time set, which means 3 times that. And then also, after that, there will be a limit where this guy can push. 1 meter. And after that, that guy's done. But not the freezer is done. He'll keep on rolling, which was the last push. He's done. Now, last push. Let's take up the mech Actually, not mech. Burner. Actually, it's a guy who has a burning torch. Yeah. And also, let's see. Wall breakers aren't going to be skeletons, but instead they're going to be people who actually throw the bomb. Actually, yeah, that's another one. Yep, this is the wall breaker. Now, I made an idea of it before, but I don't even remember what it was. I don't think I actually remember it. But this wall breaker has a gun where it's always triggering when it sees a wall. And the gun and the bullets in question are crumblers. That's what they call in the game. I'm gonna call it that. So basically, the crumblers, when it meets against the wall, the bullet crumble, but also they're like going up and down, and it's basically kind of like sanding, except the down parts. I'm just kidding about the down parts. Like, this is a wall, and this is a bullet, but they all chisel upwards so that it can go down and then break that wall. And this happens in one bullet. This, like, those chiseled bullets, which are like, a bullet is like 25 damage. And, yeah, it doesn't have a favorite target multiplier. Actually, it does. But it's only for non-crumbling defenses, which are like 50 damage. And it's like 2 times to the walls. So, yeah, when it crumbles, it's like 3 pieces upwards, and it goes down. That's like 3 damage per crumble. And it keeps doing that until it breaks a wall. So, yeah, also, it doesn't just stop with one wall and then it dies like a skeleton in Wall Breaker and Clash of Clans. He doesn't have a low HP either. It just breaks walls, and then breaks more 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 walls. Yeah, I think you get it by now. But it can even break high-level walls. And it's also how much bullets are taken at the same time, which can be a lot. So let's say 5 wall breakers will be like 3 bullets, which will actually lead to 9, and then that would lead to a bunch of damage into one wall. So it kind of depends on that too. Growlers are basically super miners, and Gym Man basically helps. Like, I don't know how to do a concept art of this, but he basically helps troops lift stuff. And then the robot is kind of like a mech, the smaller version, and it does its stun. And a defense controller is basically just a defense controller. I don't know how to draw that. Captain Everspark and Boom Beach. Third ability. And I don't know how to draw these other ones, so bye.